Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can see from the title, today we're just going to be comparing the On and the Pix. This is like the question everybody has when they're deciding what Tamagotchi to get for the first time. So it's either, should I get the On, should I get the Pix, what are the differences, which one is better? And to be honest, that is a very subjective question. It's completely up to you and it depends on what you are looking for in a Tamagotchi. I'm just gonna jump right in and say that I prefer the Pix, but a lot of people prefer the On, which is why I actually got the On, just because of all the good things that I heard about it. I did get the Pix first, and then I heard all the good things about the On. I got the On, and to be honest, I prefer my Pix a lot more to my On. But I'm just going to be going through a checklist of like different topics and comparing both of them under each of the topics, and then through all those points you can kind of decide for yourself what you would like to get. So throughout this video, I'm gonna have little checkpoints or timestamps, whatever, that you can jump to in the video if you're looking for like a specific topic concerning these Tamagotchis. And if you see me looking down, it's just because I'm gonna be reading from my iPad, because I wrote it down just so I like remember everything I want to say. So let's start off. Okay, so the first thing on my list is the basis of gameplay, which is basically what you're doing on a daily basis on the On and on the Pix. So I think the primary thing about the On is the gene mixing, which is where you're basically getting your Tamagotchi married to another Tama. So the Tama that you're marrying typically will have features that you want in your own Tamagotchi. So depending on what the Tamagotchi you're marrying looks like, your baby is going to inherit traits from the Tama you're marrying and your Tama, and then your baby's gonna look like this unique, cute Tamagotchi that is completely different, or not completely, but like it's not a standard Tamagotchi, because there's like a line of Tamagotchi characters that we all know and love. But on the On, you are able to create Tamas that are not those, you know, like completely new looking Tamas that are very unique. That's basically it with the On. The end goal is just keep marrying your Tamagotchi and creating unique looking Tamas. And so far I'm on my second generation. So my first Tamagotchi was Mamechi, and he got married to Lovelychi. And then we had two, like, you name the Tamagotchis yourself because they are not in the system. Like, they are new ones that you bred, so you named them. So I can't like tell you the standard name for them, but that's what they look like. I really hope that focuses. And I named my Cocochi and my Chanelchi, or just Chanelchi, just Coco Chanel. But yeah, so that's really it with the On. With the Pix though, the Pix primarily is, think Gen 1 Tamagotchi, but like way better. So in terms of features, the color screen and everything like that, the Pix is just basically taking care of your Tamagotchi, raising it from a baby to teenager, child, and then an adult. And at the final stage, the adult will have a profession that it would like to pursue, and you basically play games in that profession. I can't really remember what the other professions are. I've gotten chef twice. That kind of sucks. I wish I got a second one, like a different profession on my second generation, but I've gotten chef. So you basically play this one cooking game with your Tamagotchi, and then after a while they go into Tama World to be like a professional chef, and then they give you a new egg. So with this one, it's just taking care of your Tama, making sure they're happy and that you're friends with them, and then they become a professional at some type of skill or trade. So that's basically it for the Pix, just taking care of your Tama, and then they grow up to be a professional. But with the On, it's just gene mixing and trying to get the cutest or most adorable Tamagotchi that you desire. That's basically what it is with these two Tamagotchis. Okay, so next on my list, we have contents. So what is different between each of the Tamagotchis? First, I'm going to talk about the app that comes with the On. Well, not comes with, but it's this app you get from the App Store or Google Play Store, whichever. And that is primarily where you will find other characters to marry. So it is actual like real players around the world, or I think it's just US based. I'm not sure about like the regionality of the app, but I think it might be worldwide. Anyway, that is where you see other characters that are actively playing, and you can propose to them if you like how their Tamagotchi looks or if they have features that you desire for your Tamagotchi. That's where you propose, and they can either accept your proposal or reject it. If they accept it, you get married. So now the issue with the app is, I know the Japanese one, I think for the meats, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I just know the Japanese version of this app that I'm talking about has been discontinued. So they haven't said anything about discontinuing like the English version of the app, but it might happen, it might not. I'm not really sure what that is based on, but the fact that the Japanese one has been discontinued kind of makes you worry about the English version. Okay, so another thing about the On is you get to unlock multiple locations, which is pretty cool. Depending on what you do, there are a bunch of videos and articles that tell you how to unlock all the locations, but there are different things that you do to unlock different worlds. So one place that you cannot get unless you connect your Tamagotchi with a second Tamagotchi is the sports plaza, the gym. I'm not really sure, it's like either the sports or the gym, just this athletic world. You need a second Tamagotchi, which is basically saying go and buy another Tamagotchi, because a lot of people don't have a friend that they can connect Tamagotchi Ons with. So a lot of people are pushed to buy a second one, and seeing as number one, this is discontinued, the Tamagotchi On is no longer being produced, so they're basically sold out everywhere. Amazon has the Purple Magic in stock for $65. Retail price is $60, but it's a $5 difference. It's whatever. All the other colors are not available on Amazon except for the Purple Magic version. So in order to get another one, you would have to like get from external sellers, and they have jacked up the price. Like if you find a Tamagotchi On for $100, that is a steal. And $100 is expensive, which is my point. So they're pretty expensive now, very rare, kind of hard to find for a decent price, and you need another one to unlock the sports plaza. I've come to terms that I will probably never unlock it, because I don't know if I want to purchase another Tamagotchi for over, $100, So just keep that in mind when you pick up the On. Okay, so the Pix, the unique thing about it is the camera. And with the camera, it has the ability to scan QR codes. And these QR codes, you can scan it to go to invite somebody to your Tama to play with your character, or to collect gifts from people, items, to collect food items, clothing, stuff like that. Basically a bunch of things, new backgrounds. And obviously you're like, well, how do I find these QR codes to scan? But there are some amazing people out there that are doing the Lord's work. They are actively finding these codes. I don't know how they find it, but there are a bunch of websites on there, and they have like all the QR codes for like a bunch of things. So literally, if you want food, you don't even have to go to the restaurant. You can literally just find the website, find the QR code that somebody has posted for like almost all the food items, and just scan it with your Tamagotchi Pix, and you have it in your Tamagotchi. So you don't even have to actually spend your Gotchi points. I still spend mine just because if I don't ever spend it, what's the point of collecting it, But if you don't want to, or if you're looking for like backgrounds, which I have no idea how else to get, like I don't know how the Pix actually gives you the backgrounds, but you can easily just go to those websites that people have put the code for, scan it with your Tamagotchi, and you have that new background. So I feel like that's really, really amazing. I love that feature so much. Okay, so third on my list, availability. So I've kind of already talked about that. This is discontinued. This was just like put out. I think this was like kind of summer or spring last year, and this has been around for a couple of years, discontinued. And this is not. The Pix and the Smart are the latest Tamagotchis. The Smart is probably more new than the Pix, I believe. But this is very easy to find, and they're going on sale like a lot of the time. I got mine for $39.99 at Walmart's website. It was also $39.99 on Amazon.com. But this you will never find on sale, not anymore. Like sometime last year they were going on sale because the stock was still like available, but now no. You will only find it for higher than retail price. But this you have a lot of opportunity to find for less than retail. So if you're tight on money, you know, this is an amazing Tamagotchi. They're both really good, but one is actively gonna be a little bit cheaper, and then one is actively overpriced. So you have that to think about. But if you are like you don't really care about the price, you just want to know where to get the On, you can. Amazon has a bunch of sellers listing it there for like 100, 120, 130. eBay, Facebook Marketplace. And on Facebook, you can find group chats with Tamagotchi users, and they like post in the group chat that they're selling their used Tamagotchis, and you can kind of bargain with them for a price, you know. So those are your options for the On. The Pix is just in retail stores, literally Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Amazon, everywhere has a Pix. So you will not have problem finding that for retail price in the US. I don't know about other places, but in the US, there's no problem finding the Pix. Another point that I have is batteries. So this is really important. But I mean, it's not the biggest issue. Anyway, the On, I'm not sure, but I've heard people saying like it literally lasts them a month or 2 months. Guess that also varies on how much you use it. The Pix, on the other hand, I've had it for about 2 weeks and I've changed the batteries twice. So the first time the batteries lasted me like 3 or 4 days, but that was with heavy use of the camera, taking about like 20 pictures. But the second time that I changed it, I used the camera like maybe 5-6 times. It lasted me a week, then it died. So now it's still on those batteries that I put in them last time, and I haven't really used the camera all that much. They both use AAA batteries, 2 of them. And the problem with the Pix can be easily resolved if you get some rechargeable batteries. It might be a little bit expensive for some batteries up front, but in the long run, it is way more efficient because you can just get a pack of 4 with the charger, and anytime it dies, you just put the charged one into the console and then plug the other ones to charge, and you don't have to ever worry about buying them anymore. You can even use those rechargeables for your On as well, so when it does die, you don't have to go out and buy new batteries. So think rechargeables when you're getting into Tamagotchis. That is the better investment, especially if you're going for the Pix. Okay, next I am going to be talking about the buttons. So a lot of people don't like the Pix because it is touch buttons. They're not physical buttons compared to the On. However, I prefer the touch. I think it's just a learning curve how to use the touch, because on the Pix, the way you hit the buttons, it's not very responsive depending on how you hit it. You kind of have to hit it to the left of the button, and I'm gonna switch my camera in a second to actually show you what I'm referring to. But with the On, it's just physical buttons. You can't really miss what you're trying to hit. Unless your Tamagotchi's glitching or something, you're always gonna hit exactly what you want. So let me just flip my camera and then I'll go further into detail about the buttons. Please ignore the state of my nails. I just got my acrylics taken out, and you know how they affect your nails. They kind of make them brittle and look a little weird for a while. So anyway, so these are the touch buttons on the Pix. They are responsive to touch, and the On, as you can see, physical push buttons. This is to turn on the Pix. You just push the shell down, but with this one you hit the middle button. They're telling me hello. Anyway, my Tamagotchi is not the happiest right now because I just started school and I've not been able to play with them as much as I would like. But let me just show you what I'm talking about. So with the Pix, in order to hit the buttons, I would say the best thing to do is hit it slightly to the left. This is what I do, and 9 times out of 10 I get my choices correct. If you try to hit it directly on it, which you would think is the right thing to do, it sometimes will register that as you hitting the other button. I don't know why, but I think it's because since you're hitting it to the left is the most accurate part to hit. If you hit the middle, you know, that's kind of to the left of the next button, so it might register the next button instead of the one you're actually trying to hit. That's like the best way that I can describe it. I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense, but you would just basically hit the middle, and you can literally see me hitting this part, but it's registering it as if I'm hitting the middle. So that's just what I say that you should do. Yeah, so you can slide, just go to the next menu, and I really like it because it's very versatile, you know, doing what I just did. You can just slide, but versus this one where you have to go through each one. Plus, the touch on the Pix kind of gives it a wider range with games compared to the On, where your games are reliant on you pushing buttons. But with this one, you have a lot of motion controlled games, which are more fun in my opinion. Okay, so the next thing on my list to talk about is the lag, which is really what makes the Pix the winner for me, because this is so smooth compared to the On. The On is literally it's so laggy, it's so slow. The frames, they're not the best, but this one is literally so smooth. And I think because this was my first one, going from how smooth this was to how slow the On was, it wasn't doing it for me, because I really like my tech devices to be smooth, fast, you know. So just dealing with the On sometimes is very annoying, and because of how slow it is, it kind of affects my games, even though I'm actively pushing the buttons. And there are games where you have to move fast, it's not registering them fast enough, and then I kind of lose, and that makes me annoyed. So I'm just gonna show you guys like the lag difference between both of them. So we're gonna run some of the same things at the same time, and you will see like the difference between the Pix and the On in terms of how fast it goes. Another thing I would like to point out is I think, yeah, the Pix screen is definitely bigger than the On, not by too much, but is a noticeable difference for me, because I've been thinking about that. I was like, my Pix kind of looks bigger than my On, and I definitely think that the Pix is a little bit larger in comparison. So first we're gonna see which one turns on faster. So I'm gonna wake both of them up at the same time. So in terms of actually seeing your Tamagotchi, the On did come on faster. So now let's actually open the menu and like go to the park and see which one gets there faster. So you can kind of see how smoothly the Pix character is moving versus the On, where it literally looks like they're just glitching from one point to another. And you can also see how fast I can run through the text. Literally with the Pix, it's just going. But with the On, it's kind of slow. And with the Pix, if I literally just tap, 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 it'll go through it really quickly, versus the On, where if I tap, 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 it's kind of slow to respond to that. So I'm gonna do it again just to show you like exactly how fast I can go with the Pix, and then how fast I can go going through the text with the On, which is really important, especially since there's a lot of talking to other characters that are repetitive, especially like going to the restaurant and stuff like that. So that was like literally like 3 seconds. That was pretty fast. And then let's try with the On. So we can, it's probably, I don't know if like the text is like longer than the on's conversation, but I did a lot more tapping and it definitely lasted longer. The text wasn't as quick to get off the screen. So with the Pix, I can go to the menu really fast and it's pretty responsive. I'm pushing the buttons, but you see it's kind of slow. So the on is not like drastically slower than the Pix, but running both of them side by side, you get used to the efficiency of the Pix to where the on, you kind of feel like it's, you know, slow. So that's what I'm gonna talk about with the lag. And like I've shown, I hope I've done a good job explaining my point, but the Pix is definitely a lot smoother than the on. You can tell like just from the graphics and the way they move on the screen, the Pix is just gliding through, but the on is kind of like, you know, glitching through. Not glitching, but like, you know what I mean. It's not, you're not moving smoothly in swift movements. The on is just kind of bouncing around, you know. Is it the frames per second? I don't know the technical term for it, but that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, and let me just show you exactly what my on looks like so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the G mixing. So you can see this is not a default character, but you can obviously tell this is Mamechi's hat and Lovelychi's eyes, her facial features. And if I go to my family tree, you can see that's Lovelychi, that's what she looks like, that's what Mamechi looks like, and those are their kids. So that's the whole basis of the on, is just mixing two Tamagotchi, getting a more unique looking Tamagotchi. Versus the Pix, if it will load, in your notebook you can see my Tamas. That's Kinjirochi, a pretty common, like he's just a regular Tama. And right now, well, I can't see it because I'm not finished with his generation, but I just have Mamechi, and he's just like a, you know, already established character. But with the on, your characters are just like completely different after your first generation. Okay, so that was my comparison of the on and the Pix, and depending on the features of both of them, you can kind of decide which you would like. The on, I also like it because of the worlds. I think that's a pretty cool feature that the Pix doesn't really have. You have the ability to unlock a bunch of worlds, and in each world you get a shop with unique items that are specific to that world. You get a mini game that is specific to it. You get a park where you can visit characters that are specific to that world. And I think that that's pretty cool, and I like that about the on. The Pix doesn't really have anything like that, but I will say the games on the Pix are I think more in number, although like the on, in each world there is a mini game, but the Pix boasts like 17 games, which I'm not sure, like I haven't counted them out. But if you go to the arcade, there are 2 games that refresh daily. So there are 3 groups. You have leisure, nature, and sports, and each of them have 2 games. You have the 2 default games that you can play in your Tama house that doesn't give you points. It's just like a game that is always there for you to play with your Tama. And depending on the profession, there are different games that go with each profession that your Tamagotchi is interested in. So the cooking one has a cooking game, and the other ones have whatever games that they have. So I kind of prefer the Pix games, like I said, but you might prefer the on games. And each game is like specific to the world, so I think that that's pretty cool as well. But both of them are great devices. Aesthetic wise, I definitely prefer the on. Like, look at that. That is so pretty. The Pix is okay, but it's more simplistic. You can remove the egg screen and put a different faceplate on it. I'm not sure if you can do that with the with the on. I think you can, but yeah, customization wise, I think this is more customizable, but this one by default just looks cuter in my opinion. So that was my review of these two beautiful Tamagotchis. I love both of them. My love just leans a little bit more to the Pix, but you might be different. You might really be invested in the app. The app has fun games that you can play. You can meet new characters, you can get married and create cute little Tamagotchis. It has games that you can play. You can transfer those points and items that you win in the app to your on, versus this where it's just, you know, taking care of your Tamagotchi the old-fashioned way and then raising them to be a professional at something. I just prefer this because it's a lot smoother, and I just don't really care for the gene mixing, but you might, and that's totally okay. I feel like the Tamagotchi community is more in favor of the on, which is why I got it. It was peer pressure, but I really love my Pix. So if this video was helpful, please give me a like and please subscribe. I have a bunch of other videos on Tamagotchis, so please check that out. I have a separate unboxing for the Pix and the on. I really appreciate that you clicked on this video, and leave a comment down below which one you're gonna go with if you're deciding which one you would like to get, and if you have any currently, let me know which one you have down below. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye.